Yo, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. We're back into another weekly markup, but as you can see right here on our C Trader 2026, May has officially turned red. May has officially turned red. Why? Because let's look at. Remember, the account was at 100 and something bucks, like 100 and look at this. It's at $7, equity $4, and I'm in a trade right now on USDCAD, this trade right here, which honestly it should have already stopped me out, but I forgot to set a stop loss on this. My stop loss was right here, so price should have taken me out, but I'm still in the trade. Why? Because on the 15-minute I see this bullish impulse within the range, or bullish 15-minute really strong area of demand, and I do believe that price is going to come back and test this zone. So at this zone, we're either going to get into continuation buys or break below and continue to the south, and also I would be looking for more sells even below this support right here. I took the sells here thinking that this support right here was going to be weak and we were just going to break below it, which obviously it did not happen. Look at this, it respected it as support and continued bullish into my stop loss. But as you can see on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, it's another area of supply and demand right here. We see demand, broke below, lower high created, lower high below, and then turned into supply. We retested it, turned into supply again, and then this is where I was looking for the sells, right? But now look at this. On the 4 hour, we just bullish engulfed it. So this is why I'm waiting for the 15-minute test of this strong area of demand to see what happens. And if I'm starting to see some bullish momentum here, then I'm going to close, and I'm going to probably enter buys. The good thing is that the account is not blown. I can still enter another position and bring it back, therefore saving my freaking hair, because remember, every time I blow an account I have to shave my head, and I have not shaven my head all year. I have not blown an account all year. It's just, well, what I did wrong was taking SPX shorts, and look at this, 760 pips in drawdown. I got margin called, and then look at this one over here, 1,400 pips loss just for not wanting to close. My original stop loss was here, right above this high, but for some reason I removed my stop loss and I added more entries. As you can see, I have not done this in so long, man, and I didn't even want to post this in the freaking video, but you know what? I have to fucking do it. So if you go to the trade history, I over leveraged, I over risked, I removed my stop loss and was trading with no stop loss, and then I married the analysis when price had already showed it was bullish. As you can see, all of these SPX shorts, that's what ran up the account and from profit into negative. Because before we were trading normally, winning and losing, but look, the wins were small. Well, we had a big loss right here on gold, and then we made it back. But once I started getting in the SPX shorts and removed my stop loss, everything went to shit. So let's go over the setup. We go into SPX. As you can see, I was looking for sells. These were profitable sells that I took. When did I took these sells? SPX short, sell, win, positive 80 pips, close fully 30 pips in drawdown, and then close fully 120 pips. So I believe 72.34. 72.34. Yep. So this was 72.50. So it was around here that I took the sells. Those were correct sells. What I was looking for, the first position, it was somewhere right here, based off this right here. And I think the original stop loss, it was here, and then I moved it above here. But either way, it would have gotten ran through. But then once I saw price approaching over here, this area, I removed it because I don't know, man. I just really thought that price was gonna sell and it is gonna sell all the way down here, but just not yet. Why? Because we're still bullish. Price is still fully bullish. Anything above this zone right here, we're bullish. But since I was married to the sells, I literally did not see this bullish engulfing candle in the higher lows here. At this point in time, I could have already gotten out of the sells and got it into buys, but I was married into the sells, and I literally ran I let the price go into drawdown all the way up here. I mean, look at where it took me out. The last position was 73.90. 73. Look at this, 73.90. I held all the way up here. So from here all the way up here, that's the 1400 pip loss. It's 14,000 points, but it's 1400 pips. And I have not had a loss this huge in so long. You know what? We're gonna make it back. We're gonna make it back. Let's get into the weekly markup. So first and foremost, GBPUSD, you can pause and read it. We're fully bullish. The good thing is that I have not blown the account. I could still bring it back. That's a beautiful thing, right? It was a huge lesson, and I had just made a huge withdrawal, freaking like 2 weeks ago too. So now I have to add more into the account as well, because I mean the account is still not blown. So now let's hop into the monthly for GBPUSD. On the monthly, we could already see we're fully bullish. Support respected about 132. Previous monthly bullish engulfing candle headed to 138. And then we hop into the weekly. You can see on the weekly, the support got respected. We have a weekly bullish engulfing candle, and then we had this previous area of weekly supply and demand. We just tested it as demand over here, and we're also running up through another one over here. So this weekly candle, we're gonna see how it opens later on today. It's 11 right now. Oh, look, previous area of support over here got respected at 134,500. Previous area of supply turned into new demand. Previous area of supply here at 135, 700, 800. We had a bullish engulfing candle. After the price tested it, we created a higher low, and now we're back above it. So if this candle will close with a bullish engulfing candle, we could start seeing something like this. Maybe create another higher low above it to continue bullish to 138. And then on the 4 hour, you can see we're still bullish, but we're respecting this zone right here. So maybe we could get a break above this zone. Bullish engulfing candle, another higher low. We could get the continuation. Literally, it's fully bullish. So now let's get it on GJ. GJ, you can pause and read it. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish turning bearish, daily bearish, H4, H1 bearish turning bullish. GJ. So you always want to start up on the monthly. On the monthly, you can already see we're fully bullish. Support respected above 180. Previous area of strong supply at 195 turned into a new area of strong demand. Previous area of strong sells turned into obviously a new area of strong buys. And then look at this. Previous area of strong sells, which is a strong area of supply below 215. We rejected it, but we're not showing any strength of the sells. Why? Because the price is still looking bullish on the monthly. So now we hop into the weekly. You can see on the weekly, previous area at 208, previous area of strong supply. We bullish engulfed it and created a higher low above it. And then we tested at 215. We did have some. Well, it's actually on the weekly, it's bullish turning bearish, right? Bullish turning bearish because of the bearish engulfing candle. As you can see, price tested 215, but failed to keep on breaking highs, and then we had a weekly bearish engulfing candle. So it was bullish turning bearish, and then on the daily it's bearish. I would say we're bullish till we break back above 215, right? Because we could still test 215 as a lower high and continue to the downside. And then on the 4 hour, we are bearish turning bullish because we respect the previous area of support down here. Now we're on our way to another area of supply. So once we test this zone, what are we gonna do? We're gonna continue back down, or we're gonna break above it. We just have to wait. Honestly, we just have to wait for price to get to this zone right here. Potential trade. Next, USDCAD, monthly bearish, weekly bearish, daily bearish turning bullish, H4, H1 bullish. you always want to start up on the monthly. So on the monthly, you could already see previous area supply respected below 147, lower high and bearish engulfing candle below 145, and the bearish engulfing candle below 139, lower high and bearish engulfing candle below 139. And then right now we're also respecting the support right here at above 135,500. So we're still bearish because we do have the bearish engulfing candle below the supply zone. Well, actually, are we bearish turning bullish? No, we're fully bearish. Yeah, I wouldn't say we're bullish till we break above here. But then again, we are holding the support. Now on the weekly we are no, we don't turn bullish to the daily. And you can see this previous area right here. It's kind of holding this previous area of supply, demand, supply again. So maybe we could get a weekly bullish engulfing candle above this zone. On the weekly, we will already be turning bullish. But so far, we're still bearish, even though we are holding the support above 135,500. Now on the daily, we are turning bullish. Bullish uptrend being respected, higher low, and the bullish engulfing candle above 135,500. But right now, exactly, we're respecting this zone. Actually, it looks better right here. This is a daily zone right here. So you can see previous area of supply. All we have to do is just wait for the bullish engulfing candle above here and the higher low for price to continue. Because now on the 4 hour, is it bullish turning bearish? No, it's still bullish. Yeah, I would say it's still bullish until we get a break below maybe this low. So maybe a price could even come all the way down here and test this low and still be valid for buys, right? But then again, we still need the bullish engulfing candle and the higher low above here. So we just have to wait. Most setups this week, we just have to wait. Now, USDJPY, you can pause it and read it. UJ. So on the monthly, similar to GJ, we're fully bullish. Actually, on the monthly on UJ, we're actually bullish turning bearish because we're failing to keep on breaking highs above 160. And then look at this, we just had a bearish not a bearish engulfing candle, but a bearish candle close below 158,500. Now the stocks could continue to 152 probably, but on the higher time frame that could still be a higher low. So on the monthly we're bullish turning bearish. On the weekly we are bearish because obviously the area of supply below 160 got respected, and then we have a bearish engulfing candle below 158,500. Price literally looks like it's on the way back to 152. On the daily, it was a perfect retest into this previous area. Previous area of demand turned into new supply, and it's melting. And that would make this support weak, right? Because this support only created a lower high. And then we test it again, we're probably going to create another lower high. And we test it again, we're probably going to create another lower high. And then people are going to start thinking that this is support, and then boom, we're going to run through that shit, come test to 152, and maybe we could flip back bullish at 152. On the 4 hour, on the 4 hour we're actually turning bullish. Look at this. The support being respected, obviously. We do have the higher time frame, higher lower high, my mistake. But then right here, look at this, we broke structure above on the 4 hour. We have a bullish engulfing candle. And now look at this. This is looking like a higher low. All we have to do right now is for price to break below here, and we'll be looking for some nice sells. Actually, even all the way up here, down here. But TP1 would be this low here. Just because at these wicks, especially it's an H4 wick, so sometimes H4 wicks. Look at this H4 wick, right? Let's go look for another one. Well, there's one right here, but this one didn't really get respected. Oh, here's one. You see this H4 wick? Once price tested, especially if it's strong. This one's strong because it gave us a push for 260 pips. But what do I mean by strong? Price still has not yet come back and tested. So when it comes back and tested for the first time, it is no longer strong. It's now weak. But it's strong the first time because it gives us a push of another, look at this, 300 pips. Same thing that could happen over here. But this push only gave us 200 pips or 190 pips. So now what is price gonna do when it gets to it? It could either give us the same or less or more. We're bearish, so it could give us less, it could give us 100 pips. But we have to know that price, this has to be a TP1 because H4 wicks give you a reaction, especially the bigger the wick. You can see H4 wick. Oh, look at this, another H4 wick here, but it didn't get fully tested. But they have to be really strong though, like the beginning of a bullish trend, or the beginning of a bearish trend. For example, this was one right here, but it didn't look that strong. The price cleared it, and then boom, it gave us a drop. So if you could find untested strong H4 wicks, that's where the good entries happen, right? But those again, if we're bearish, that could also be a target. So we could actually potentially, if price breaks below here, we could get from sell maybe to a potential buy, to maybe a potential sell again. Just knowing that price has to bounce off these levels, and especially if it's strong, because look at this, price still has not came back and tested this level right here. So this is strong too, even though it's not an H4 wick, it's strong because price still has not came back, and there's still active sellers here, right? From here all the way up here, there's still active sellers. Price only came back to test up here, but if you put a your price chart from here to here, look, it's 90 pips of strength. That price still has not came back and stopped them out. So actually now I can see why price is flipping bullish. If we do remain with this higher low here, this could be a target. So actually now this is looking like a good setup for Sunday, for later on today, for after Sydney session closes, when we start seeing Asian session, this could be a potential setup. So even then, if we miss out on the buys here, we could enter a potential trade here, or if we miss out on the sells here, we could then enter a potential trade here. And just remember that we don't have to buy. Price could also break below it and continue bearish. It's a previous strong area of demand, so it could either turn into demand again or supply again. And that's literally my knucklehead why I lost on SPX. I could have already gotten in on the buys. Look at this. Previous area of supply was strong, gave us a 900 pip drop or 9,000 points of a drop. Look at this. At this point in time, if I would have just kept my original stop loss, okay, I would have gotten stopped down on 380 pips, right? Instead of the freaking 1400 pips. But then look, I would have seen this bullish engulfing candle, seen these higher lows, and gotten in on a buy. Even though the only thing is that you don't have targets over here. Price on SPX is creating new all-time highs. That's why that's why I thought that price was gonna sell. Because usually on forex pairs, once you clear everything to the upside, it comes back and starts clearing price to the downside. But obviously indices and crypto and all of this crazy shit, this shit moves by companies and shit. So this is the top 500 companies in the United States, and obviously they're all doing good right now because of the war and Iran war and oil prices and everything, right? So everything's more expensive, therefore they're selling more. Well, actually, that could be, maybe they're not selling more, but everything's still more expensive, but people are still buying. And literally the prices keeps on going up. But all of this is still liquidity right here. People are still entering buys, and I still believe that price is gonna come back and test even all the way to 71.50. Because all of this is still active liquidity, right? But price is still bullish. And going back to the case, after seeing this bullish engulfing candle and these higher lows here, I could have gotten in buys. The thing is, I would not have a target. Maybe my target could have been freaking 100 pips, right? But you just have to know that price It's creating all-time highs, and you could have still been in the trade right now. But SPX and all of these indices, you could almost not trade them like Forex. You gotta trade them a little bit differently, because the price action on this shit is perfect. Now I just have to wait for price to break below this, and we could get the potential sells all the way down here. But we have to wait for the confirmation candles. SPX, look at this. The price action on SPX is beautiful, and you can catch a shit ton of pips. But then again, you could also lose a shit ton of pips if you're not aligned, and you have to stay disciplined. I don't know why the fuck I removed my stop loss. I married the freaking setup, and I paid the price for it. But I'm here to trade another day. You know what? We learn from it, and we're back at it. So, I mean, NCDCAD, that was basically, I didn't do a weekly markup for NCDCAD because I am holding this trade still. And honestly, as long as price could break back below this area of supply and demand right here, if we could get a bearish engulfing candle in the lower high here, we're definitely melting below. So I'm gonna be watching this right here, right? If not, if this happens here and we start seeing some bullish engulfing candles higher, then I'll close, right? So that's the update for this. So now basically it. Peace and love to anybody watching this. I commend you health, wealth, knowledge, wisdom for your entire family. Back to work.